Hello, my name is Aamina Hennings, and you are viewing Amina's Moment, a part of DNA Generation. I'm so glad you were able to tune in. I want to begin this podcast with the beginning. So, mothers, you've delivered your baby. You hear that first cry. That is the most beautiful sound a parent can hear. To hear your child's first cry, that first means of communication. When I think about our 3 children that my husband and I, that we have, to hear them cry at that moment when they were born, my heart melted. Fast forward to my life, of course, right now, I am a high school counselor, and I see so many of our teens not being heard. So think about that. From the moment of birth, that parent, they're in tune with that cry. They identify those cries. That's the crazy part. Even for me as a new mom, I'm like, how am I supposed to know what the cry means? But you learn because you're practicing and listening to your child. That baby, when they cry, you can tell that it's a hunger cry. You can tell if it's a dirty diaper cry or even a sleepy cry. But the thing is, you're in tune with that baby's needs. And I'm not sure what happens between that first cry and a cry as a teen that some parents may miss. But that's where I want to be in this conversation this evening. Okay, so thinking about and remembering how much attention you as a parent gave your child as they were growing up. So when you think about month 1, 2, 3, 6 months, the baby is crawling probably and, maybe starting to pull up or getting into things. It's almost like that's that fun age because then you can get the baby to laugh and, they're really engaged in facial expressions. And so when you think about the opportunities that you had as your baby was growing, so each stage, whether it be, now we're starting some form of solid foods where we're getting away from just milk, you're following that baby and meeting them at the point of their need. The same attention, maybe in a different format, but the same attention that you give your baby, that is the same attention teenagers need. I am not saying that you have to hold their hand for every single step, because guess what? When that baby started walking, you didn't hold their hand during every single step. There was a time that you were like, okay, we're excited. The baby is taking his or her first step. And at some point you wanted to let go because you wanted to see how they were going to actually walk and what kind of movements were going to take place. But even in the midst of them learning how to walk and you holding on or maybe providing something for them to hold on to or maybe bracing them so that they wouldn't fall, those are some of the same needs that need to be met in the lives of our teenagers. Children, they do want structure. Even when teens are fighting back, rebellious, saying, no, this is not what I want. They really do need structure. They need support, and they need someone that will listen to them. Babies that are crying, and I don't know, maybe you've never experienced this before or heard about it, but I know that there are some parents, they will allow the baby to kind of cry it out, but that's only going to last for so long. Even if that baby decides to stop crying at that point, and maybe they're learning how to self-soothe, the only thing that I'm telling you pertaining to that is don't let your teen cry out and nobody responds. There are so many pieces to being a teenager, whether it be a preteen, whether it be someone who's almost out of their teens going into their early 20s. We as human beings, we need to be heard. And when we're not heard, there is or can be a negative reaction to that, a negative response to that. Maybe teens find themselves distancing themselves from their parents or their families overall. And I am not saying that teenagers are not going to go through various phases, but just like that baby goes through those phases, the teenagers are doing the same thing. Yes, they may find that, you know what, I want to be with my friends. I want to hang out with them. I don't want to have family dinner anymore. I want to be with those people that I go to school with, those people that are in the neighborhood, whatever it is that they feel comfortable, whatever that environment is. Yeah, they may gravitate towards that. But just as that baby is gravitating towards freedom, and they're like, no, have you ever had a baby kind of push your hand away because they're ready to do they think they can do it all. They think they really, really can run, and that baby is going maybe 2 steps a half second. But teens do the same thing. No, don't do that. No, don't provide structure. Don't love on me that much. Don't tell me what to do because I know what it is that I want to do. Just like they do that and babies do the same thing. I don't think as a parent, I've never allowed my baby just to consistently get hurt. If I'm noticing a pattern, like, okay, when I let you go and your fall creates a cry that is because of pain, okay, let's try to do something else. Let's maybe, do we need to get to an area that has more carpet, or maybe the edges of the table aren't around. Maybe we haven't put those little guards on the table so that you don't bump your head. All of those little bitty pieces go into play. And when it comes to teaching and guiding, teenagers, and no offense to teenagers, but teenagers can be big babies sometimes, meaning that they still need some of the same structure. Again, a different level for them, but some of the same guidance that babies need. You must listen as a parent of a newborn, an infant, a toddler, a child, a preteen, and a teenager. You must listen. That is the common theme that I believe teenagers especially that they need. Are you going to agree with everything you hear? Absolutely not. Because even as a school counselor, I sit back sometimes and I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But I find that the more that I listen, the more that I learn. When I had our newborns, so our children are 7, 3, and 17 months. As newborns, it was a lot that I did not know, but I allowed my babies to teach me what to do. I allowed them to guide me so that I could guide them. I'm not saying that you don't listen to other pieces of advice, even reading books about rearing children, but your number one teacher is going to be that child. And so from my heart to yours as a parent, you as a parent, I want to encourage you to listen to your children. If in fact you only have teenagers, and let's just say that, you've gotten to the point, maybe there is a disconnect, you can start developing that relationship just by listening. Sometimes, as adults too, sometimes we don't even want a response. I just want to know that you are really, really hearing what I'm saying. And so if in fact you have little ones, practice and continue listening to them. Just because they're getting older does not mean that you discredit what they say, how they feel, but you are really, really in tune with them just as they were when they were babies. So as they grow, as they're maturing, as they're getting older, you are still remaining constant with listening. This is Aamina Hennings, and you're tuning in to Amina's Moment. I can't wait to join you. And you know what? We're taking this journey together to be better. Have a great day.